Hi, my name is Matthew Dunn, and this is my final assessment for data capture and creative communication. And today I'll be talking about the data capture of airline ratings in Australia, and at the end have a little bit of creative communication. First off, though, I'd like to acknowledge that this presentation was written and produced on the lands of the Darug, Gadigal and Ngunnawal peoples, and the writer acknowledges elders past, present, and emerging. So what I'll be talking about today, I'll be looking at how airlines in Australia are sometimes rated, basing this on the airlines of Jetstar, Qantas, Virgin Australia, Regional Express, also known as Rex, and little-known Link Airways. Discussing the different ways of rating, quantitative and qualitative, how these ratings can be manipulated. Then I'll take a look at some social media posts of one particular airline, and then a bit of fun at the end with some creative communication. So let's take a look at what we'll be using here to look at the ratings. The four systems, or the three systems rather, that I'm going to be looking at. Number one is Airline Quality, which is actually owned by Skytrax. Airline Quality is certified customer reviews of their traveling experience on particular airlines. Skytrax itself is an independent auditor of airlines and give each airline a star rating out of 5. TripAdvisor has certified and non-certified reviews of flying with different airlines. And then I'm going to take a look at one Facebook group called Customer Qantas Hints, Tips, Questions, and Gripes. So let's dive right in and have a look at Jetstar Australia, a wholly owned subsidiary of Qantas Airways. It is considered a low-cost airline. So if we look at Skytrax, the independent auditor, they give Jetstar 3 stars out of 5 stars. Airline Quality, which has the personal reviews, only give Jetstar 2 out of 5 stars. Whereas TripAdvisor, again, a review site, gives them 3 out of 5 stars. This gives Jetstar an average of 2.66 stars. Qantas Airways, the national carrier, are considered by Skytrax a 4-star airline. However, the personal reviews on Airline Quality only give it a 3-star airline. TripAdvisor, however, with their independent reviews, rate it as 3.5 out of 5 stars, giving it an average of 3.5. Virgin Australia, the second largest carrier in Australia, is considered by Skytrax to be a 4-star airline, whereas Airline Quality independent reviews only give them 2.5 stars. A TripAdvisor, however, give them 3.5 stars. This gives Virgin Australia 3.33 stars out of 5. Regional Express, which travels regionally throughout Australia, as its name suggests, and also does some domestic routes, such as the main routes, such as Melbourne to Sydney to Brisbane, Hobart and Adelaide, do not have a rating from Skytrax, so they have not been independently audited. However, the reviews do give them 4 stars on both Airline Quality and on TripAdvisor, therefore giving it obviously an average of 4 stars. Little-known Link Airways, a regional carrier throughout New South Wales, Queensland, Victoria, and the ACT, do not have any ratings from TripAdvisor or Skytrax. However, on TripAdvisor, they do actually score a 4.5 stars out of a possible 5, making it actually the highest rating airline out of the 4. But they only have they only have the 1 rating. So what does this mean? Jetstar comes in at the lowest at 2.66, with Qantas at 3.5 and Virgin slightly tailing at 3.33. Rex seems to beat both of the main carriers with 4, and Link Airways actually comes in as the most highly rated airline at 4.5 stars. What we do need to take into account, though, is the number of respondents. So if we have a look here, Jetstar has over 13,000 comments on TripAdvisor and 1,200 comments on airline quality. Qantas 1,800 on airline quality, and TripAdvisor over 20,000 comments. Airline quality for Virgin Australia, airline quality is just under 1,000 and just over 11,000, or just under 12,000 rather, for TripAdvisor. Whereas Rex, a smaller airline, only 54 comments on airline quality and 790 on TripAdvisor. Little known Link Airways only has a total of 72 comments on TripAdvisor. So these are all the comments, so not the independent ratings, so just the comments here. So what does this mean? The number of respondents differ dramatically, as you can tell. Generally, a higher number of respondents, or larger the sample size, can represent a more accurate measure. And these passenger numbers really should be considered. If we have a look here, airline group 1 is Rex, and they carried not as many passengers as the other two major airlines, Virgin Australia and Qantas. Airline group 2 is Qantas and Jetstar, because they are both owned by the same company, and they seem to carry the most number of passengers, whereas Virgin Australia comes in second place, carrying a number of passengers between Qantas and Rex. So, social media groups. Let's have a look at some social media groups. I did try to go through Facebook groups and see what the chatter is online about these different airlines. But what's quite interesting is that most groups are either positive or negative, or they're just simply an information page. For example, if we put into Facebook groups to have a look at Jetstar rather, they're actually quite negative. Why we hate Jetstar and Jetstar horror stories, for example. If we look at Virgin Australia, they're mostly positive. There's Virgin Australia fan groups, and how to use your Velocity points is another group that I did come across. But Regional Express doesn't have any groups, fan groups, or negative groups. They simply have a social media page on Facebook. Poor old Link, little known Link, doesn't have any presence on Facebook or any Facebook groups whatsoever. So one of the Facebook groups I did take a look at was Qantas Customer Hints, Tips, Questions and Gripes. Now, the reason I took a look at this particular one, it's not anti or pro Qantas group. It's simply having tips, hints, questions and gripes, as the name suggests. It's a private Facebook group, so you do need to actually join it. And so this is a little bit of ethnography by me joining the group. I am a member, but I have not mentioned to anybody in the admin or in the group, and I don't actually make any posts. I simply observe. It has over 48,700 members, so much more than any of the review sites or the reviews that people have left. And they have up to around 875 posts per month. So that's quite a large number of posts that could be reviewed. So what did I do with these reviews? Oh, I must mention too that this is not affiliated with Qantas. It is a private Facebook group. So Qantas Customer Hints, Tips, Questions and Gripes. Summary of posts over a 1 week period, and this was actually posted onto the Facebook group. Most of the posts are actually about questions. You know, where do I check in for this? What will happen? Will my baggage be tagged right through? Will I be getting a meal on board, and so forth? There was only a small amount of hints. There were some praise. About 10% of the posts were praise. Most interestingly, and I didn't think it was going to be this low, but the gripes only equal for 12% of that particular week. So I took a look at those gripes to see what people are talking about, and I loaded these gripes into NVivo. I looked at 50 gripes over a 3-week period, and then sorted them or coded them into these particular codes that you see here on the left: airport baggage, call center cancellations, delays, so on and so forth. What I found was really quite interesting. Most of the complaints were actually pre-travel. So they're actually making contact with the call center, wanting to make changes to their flights or cancelling their flights, or asking some issues with the call center. May have even been post-travel, but majority of these were pre-travel. Whereas when we're looking at all the reviews, they're absolutely all post-travel. You can't review an airline pre-travel, can you? I actually thought it would probably be more something like baggage or the meals or seating, but it was actually making contact with the airline. So I thought that was a really interesting fact. So in summary, airlines may be rated through a systematic auditing, quantitative, and or passenger reviews, qualitative, which are then calculated quantitatively. Ratings can very much dramatically vary per review site. The number of reviews may influence the rating, and the number of passengers carried by each airline may also influence an airline's rating. Passengers' comments, which are subjective, and the rating may generally, as I mentioned previously, be post-travel. Social media posts, however, may be influenced by post-travel experience, but also the pre-travel experience and communication with the airline. Unfamiliar airlines, or those who carry less passengers, may also influence the airline's rating due to minimal subjective reviews. So, what about these lesser-known airlines or unfamiliar airlines? How do they communicate that they are a 4.5-star airline? Well, here's a little bit of fun here. I'm sure we all remember the Coca-Cola and Pepsi taste tests that have been carried on for decades now. Somebody is blindfolded and they have to try both the Pepsi and the Coca-Cola and see which one they like best. Well, we got a little bit creative and we thought that we could try and do this with an airline. What if we told some passengers they were flying an airline today, but we didn't tell them which airline they were flying? Click the link below. Please stop the video and click the link below and have a look at this fun little video we made. Okay, so in conclusion, airlines have a unique way of being rated, both audited and through customer review sites. To communicate the ratings, there are various ways to excite the market as well. And familiar airlines such as Link Airways may rely on reviews, and this could be to their advantage, such as being a 4.5-star airline. So why aren't they using that? In the end, I believe more research is needed to provide a true calculation of an airline's average rating across the board. That's all I have for you today. Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.